Well, good morning or good afternoon to everyone, whatever the case may be. If you're on the East Coast, obviously it's good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone to today's webinar, Close More Business with a Dedicated CRM. This is a special webinar with Dexter & Cheney and our technology partner, Top Builder Solutions. I am Andy Holtman with Dexter & Cheney, and in just a few moments I'm going to turn things over to my colleague, Scott Rosenblum, and then later Dave Knowles with Top Builder. As folks are still kind of trickling in this morning, I just want to take a few seconds and go over a handful of housekeeping tips in case you may be new to the GoToMeeting/GoToWebinar control panel. If this is your first time, you might notice the navigation bar on the right-hand side of your screen. This is how you interact with us during the webinar today. You might see a little orange arrow there. You can expand or hide that navigation bar to your liking, but you'll also find a number of different options available where you can adjust the settings, interact with us, and more. Another thing you might notice is that if you were an attendee this morning, you are muted. We do mute folks that are on our webinars just to make sure that everybody is able to hear the background or hear the presentation, and there's no background noise, eating of sandwiches, ruffling of papers, that kind of thing. But like I said before, there is a comment and question section there. If you do have a question that you'd like to ask during the webinar, please type it in there, and we'll do our very best to answer it during the webinar today. Or if for whatever reason we're unable to, we will address questions after the webinar as well. We're also recording this webinar today, and we'll follow up with folks in the next day or two to see if you have any additional questions, would like a copy of the recording and slides, or anything else. Just a couple words about Dexter & Cheney for anybody that might not know. We are a construction software company specializing in business management and operations solutions. Now, obviously, this webinar here today is geared toward our clients, so you should know that. But just a few words. We began back in 1981. First company to bring accounting software to the construction industry. So we've been around for more than 35 years now, and today we are the leader in cloud-based construction ERP software. And most of you on the call today should know our Spectrum Construction Software is a full suite accounting, business management, project management, equipment management, and service management solution that you can access wherever your work takes you. Now, over the past few years, and a lot of you might have noticed this, Dexter & Cheney has continued to expand its presence as a technology leader by partnering with a number of technology companies like Top Builder, who are experts in their areas of functionality. And Scott's going to touch on this partnership here in just a couple minutes. This gives our clients more options and makes Spectrum a truly complete construction management solution. We also partner with a number of industry associations and organizations to bring a host of educational resources to the industry. These include things like webinars like you're on today, white papers, videos, blogs, podcasts, and a whole lot more. If you're interested in any of these, you can find these by visiting our website at www.dextercheney.com. Now I'm going to turn things over to Scott Rosenblum, our Vice President of Strategy here at Dexter Cheney, who's going to discuss this partnership with Top Builder Solutions and what it can mean for your business. Scott, let me turn things over to you, sir.
Great. Thanks, Andy. Hello, everyone. Again, this is Scott Rosenblum at Dexter Cheney, and I'm very pleased to have our partner, Top Builder, Dave Knowles, representing Top Builder here today. At Dexter Cheney, we focus on, developing a very open system, cloud-based system to not only provide our own functionality, but allow easy integration with other solutions in the marketplace that can add value to our customers' environments. Over the years, we've heard from a lot of our clients that they've been looking at, they need a CRM system to be able to work with clients and prospects. Those are activities that are best done typically outside of their construction management system, and because they're really dealing with a much broader audience than what we deal with within Spectrum. So, as you know, a CRM system enables you to have lots and lots of prospects and manage them in various ways, see how business is tracking within those, and then when you do actually convert them from a prospect to an actual customer or client, then that's when you start dealing with them within Spectrum. So when we were looking out in the marketplace for a CRM partner, we came across Top Builder. And they were providing exactly the kind of complementary capabilities that we felt our clients needed, and that was, a cloud-based CRM system that supported all those core requirements that you expect in a CRM system, as well as a system that could easily, or Dave may disagree easily, but can integrate with our Spectrum system, providing a a consistent way to deal with your prospects and clients. The thing we always try to avoid is double entry. So if I've got information in my CRM system that's pertinent to my Spectrum environment, then I'd like to have that information replicated there without me having to do anything manual. And conversely, if there's information in Spectrum that I'd like to expose within the CRM system, like existing customers, existing projects, and so forth, I'd like to be able to do that as well. So truly a bi-directional kind of experience. And I think we have that with, I know we have that with Top Builder. And so I think you're probably all anxious to hear more about exactly how that is put together and how that works. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Dave Knowles, who will talk about the Top Builder solution and most importantly, how that works in concert with Spectrum. So with that, Dave?
Thanks, Scott. That's a great introduction. I really appreciate it, and I also appreciate the opportunity to come in and present today. And I don't disagree with you, by the way, regarding how easy it is to integrate with Spectrum. It is, we've been doing this for, coming up on 30 years now, and frankly, that was one of the best experiences we've had in that many years. So it's been a pleasure working with you guys, and we hope to continue to do so. So what I have planned for everybody today is these items. There's a whole bunch of slides in here in this slide deck, and you will all be receiving these slides after the presentation. We're going to send them to you via email. But I'm only going to cover 3. I'm going to cover a little bit about our background, and frankly, Scott already did a pretty good job of that, so I'll go over it pretty quickly. I'm going to cover basically the objectives that we have for the product and for you as a customer. So what problems are we trying to solve for you as a business in terms of your lead management and your sales? I'm going to keep it high level. And then we're going to go over the product features. Scott mentioned the 4 main components, and that's what he's referring to. We'll go over that in those slides briefly. And then we have some poll questions in here, and these poll questions are really to help me navigate through the presentation and the demo to understand what you've been doing to date, and it'll help me guide the presentation and guide the demonstration, which I'll do after the second poll question. We'll leave some time for question and answers in here, and frankly, I will stick around as long as you guys want to answer any questions that you have. We will be following up with you after the presentation today, sending you these slides, and see if you have any questions or want a one-on-one demo. In the backup slides that are in here, there's a reference to a video library. That video library contains a very detailed demonstration of the Spectrum interface, the Top Builder Solutions to Spectrum interface. You can watch that. It's live. It shows you how the data flows back and forth. I don't think I have time to demonstrate that today, but if I do, I certainly will. I'm prepared to do it. We also have pricing and other screenshots and things in here that will help you learn more about Top Builder Solutions. And of course, we have our contact information in there. Okay, so a little bit about Top Builder Solutions as a company. We started the company in 2008, and we only focus on sales and marketing solutions for the construction industry. That's all we do. We started off with residential construction, and we grew very rapidly over the last, almost a decade now, where we have hundreds of builders across the U.S. and Canada with thousands of users, over 4,000 users, and some of our customers do thousands of projects a year, and almost $1 billion in sales. So we have some very, very big customers on the system. A lot of our customers use our software to manage multiple lines of business. And in this industry, it's very common to have a general contractor or a subcontractor that does installations, project work, but also does service and warranty work. So this allows you to manage all those opportunities and be able to categorize them and segregate them, along with, you might do product sales as well. So we have a lot of experience. We've been doing this, like I said, for almost 30 years now. I personally was the project manager for Hewlett-Packard and Compaq, so I was in charge of their CRM system, and that was their global CRM system. I did it as a consultant for many years for Arthur Andersen, which is now Accenture. We had clients such as General Electric and AT&T and some very large companies there. I'll try to go a lot quicker, but we are independent and profitable, so you don't have to worry about us going out of business on you. And one of the cultural aspects of our company, because we've been in your shoes as the project manager for Hewlett-Packard or for Compaq, I was having to deal with the software vendor, the CRM vendor, and support wasn't there for me. And so as a culture, our company is very, very focused on service and support. We have a very structured support process, dedicated support managers and account managers. So I hope you can appreciate that. And if you have any questions about that, please let us know. We'd be happy to answer those questions. Okay, so poll question number 1. Andy, take it away.
Absolutely, folks. We're going to launch our first poll question now here, and you'll see it on your screen and have a chance to go ahead and select your answer here. Here we are. Poll is open now. How do you currently manage your leads and opportunities? Do you do it through Excel or other spreadsheets? Do you have a CRM software solution? Through other means, that being Outlook, manual contact lists, etc., or we don't? Folks are voting now. Please go ahead and vote. I got about 40% in. We'll leave this open for about another 10 seconds to let folks continue to vote. And we'll close the poll here in about 5, 4, if you haven't voted yet, get in quick, 3, 2, and we're going to close this poll. Okay, close the poll, and I'll go ahead and share the results out with everybody here. And Dave, I don't think you can see this, but I'll read this off to you. Okay. 33% say they're using Excel spreadsheets, so one third. 14% are using some sort of a CRM software solution. 43% are using other means, that being Outlook, some sort of manual contact lists, etc. And 10% say they don't manage them at all. So by far the largest one is they're using other means such as Outlook or manual contact lists.
Perfect. Okay, so
I'm going to go ahead and slide this right now and turn it back over to you, sir. There you go.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, Andy, for that. That is really good information, and that leads in very nicely into the next 2 slides, because what we have here is a set of goals. So as a company, we primarily have 2 goals for our customers. As I said, we only focus on sales and marketing solutions for the construction industry, and so everything we do is focused on these 2 goals. And those goals are to close more deals from the leads that you typically get or that you already have. So let's make more money without spending more money, obviously. And then the other goal is to generate more opportunities in the industry and hopefully more qualified opportunities, so you have a higher closure rate on those opportunities that you do get. And so, little story behind this, and I'll try to go quick, but we talk to a lot of builders, and we don't just give them the software and say, hey, let us know if you need help. We train them, we coach them, we try to understand their business, We try to understand what keeps them up at night, what issues they face with lead management and with sales and marketing. And, you know, everybody's a little bit different, and leads come from a lot of different places. Some builders and contractors tell us, you know, hey, I just find out about them in networking events, or I kind of keep my ear to the ground regarding what's going on in the industry, and I find out about them that way. And then we have some builders that will find out about these leads from very sophisticated lead generation sources that will tell them when an owner changes of a building, or a property manager changes of a building, or does all kinds of, you know, internet kind of searches to try to figure out what's going on out there in the industry, and creates leads and sells those to the builders and to the contractors. Well, what we found is, regardless of where their leads are coming from or how many they're managing, what happens is they effectively follow up with those opportunities. And when I mean effective, they do it in a professional way, in a timely way. We're going to get more of those deals as if they didn't follow up professionally. And that's kind of a, okay, moment, you know, so what? But it's proven. And we say, well, why is that? Why do you get more deals when you just follow up? Well, they say, well, first of all, we look a lot more professional, and so they want to go with us over the other folks that aren't following up. We are responsive, and if you're not responsive during the sales cycle, then how responsive do you think you're going to be when you get the job, or when the job's underway? So that's a big part of it. Plus, a lot of times they'll go with the first person that responds, especially when it comes to a service-oriented opportunity. You know, something's going on with their roof or their HVAC system, and they need a service engagement starting now. And then sometimes, you know, they're the only one that's following up. But there's a whole list of reasons why this works, and the point is, we want you to get more deals and more sales without spending more money on marketing. That's the point. And then by staying in front of these folks, by having a newsletter, by providing relevant information to your customers and your prospects, opportunities that come up will come your way. So opportunity will come up, they'll remember you. If you're staying in front of them, they'll send you the opportunities, and you'll definitely get more opportunities. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about how we do that in a second. Okay? And then, of course, with any CRM system, and these are secondary goals, but, you know, saving you time, money, and staying organized, organizing your vendors, your trades, your subcontractors, all your contacts, having all your information in one place, being able to pick up the phone and call somebody from anywhere, and having all the history and all the information you need in one place to have an intelligent phone conversation is very important as well, of course. And you would expect that with any CRM system, or Outlook even. Okay, so here's the main features of the software. Scott mentioned the big four, and we added another one in there, which is the Spectrum interface, because you guys are all Spectrum customers, so we want to spend some time talking about that and how important that is. So the major features are the customer relationship management piece, of course, which allows you to manage your leads, your opportunities. You have an account manager in there where you can manage all your vendors, subcontractors, prospects, customers, a database of history and information about all your customers, all your contacts, all your tasks, all your events and to-do items. And I'm going to show this to you in a second. A big part of reaching these goals to close more deals from existing leads is how you follow up with them and the workflow. So that's a major module of the system. So workflow is in here and is customizable, but is associated with any opportunity where you can design how you want to follow up with an opportunity depending on the priority or the status of that opportunity. So in other words, it's a brand new RFQ that came in from your website. well, here's a set of tasks that are defined for that new online RFQ. Immediately they're going to get a thank you email, saying thanks for the opportunity. Somebody's getting an alert immediately to call them. Somebody's getting a reminder to call them, and then, so on and so forth. But then as you move them through the process, let's say a bid has been submitted, you change the status in the system, and then a new set of workflow or a new set of plans are attached, and an email will go out thanking them for the bid opportunity, maybe a reminder to send them an email that says, hey, do you have any questions, to follow up on the bid, all kinds of things. So I'm sure you can use your imagination and figure it out, but I'm going to show it to you in a second as well. Like I said, tasks can be delegated, so if somebody's in charge of estimating or somebody's in charge of bidding, when the salesperson closes that deal or moves it into bid status, you can send the tasks over to the estimator or the bidder, and they'll get an alert and reminder to say, hey, we got a new deal for you to bid out. And then, of course, things can be automated. Emails can automatically go out when you want them to. All right. So the third major piece of this is email marketings and email campaigns or drip campaigns. Everybody knows what email is or email campaigns are. Maybe you've heard of constant contact. But the beauty of what we do is we have it integrated into the CRM system, so you can target your emails to say, I want an email to go to all property managers or all project managers or anybody that's in the active sales cycle, or I want them to go to just the CFOs or CFOs or in this territory. Or, you can target it, and then we do the branding for you, so it's very professional looking emails on your brand with links to your website, with links to your social media pages, and all you got to do is plug in the text, and you've got a beautiful email, and we can track it. And so if somebody opens the email, we know they opened it. If somebody clicks on a link on the email, they clicked on a link. If it bounces, if they opt out, the whole bit, we track. And we track it back up to the CRM system, so if you're looking at a prospect or an account, you'll know, hey, they received my newsletter, they opened my newsletter, they clicked on a link to go read more information. You have all this in one place. It's awesome. And then we also have a newsletter, and this becomes your newsletter. The newsletter is something we publish for you. We write the articles. You have a library of articles. You can pick topics every month. If you don't like a topic or you want a different topic, you can edit the topics, and then we send it out and we monitor it for you every month. And again, it's integrated with the CRM system, so you see all the history and everything in one spot. Okay, so the last part, well, maybe not the last part, but the fifth spoke of the wheel here is the Spectrum integration. You are all Spectrum customers. So if you signed up with us, we have an interface where we can pull in all your customers, all your contacts, all their addresses and phone numbers, and it's by company code, because in Spectrum you can set up different companies under your same account, but for each company code you have in Spectrum, you can pull in all that information, and boom, you're ready to go. You have all your customers in there, you have all your contacts in there, you have their addresses, you have their phones, you have their email, all right away as soon as you sign up. Now, the interface also sends new customers, so if you're working on a new lead and you are awarded a job and that customer is not in Spectrum yet, we send that customer over to Spectrum. We send them the customer ID or the customer number that you want to use for Spectrum. It creates the customer in Spectrum. It creates all the contacts, address, phone, all that, and the job. So it creates a job, attaches the job to the customer, and you're off and running within Spectrum. Now, when that job status changes, we update Top Builder Solutions as the job changes in Spectrum, so you get that right away. And then that's also tied into the follow-up plan, so when the job is completed and it's completed in Spectrum, it shows up as completed in Top Builder, and they get the new follow-up plan. It's fabulous. And then we also pull in financial summary their credit history, their payment history, their invoice history, the job summary, and the job history for each account, so that when you're working on your leads, you have all that information at your fingertips when you're working your prospects and when you're planning to bid a job. Okay, so I think we're going on to the next poll question, and then we're going to dive into the demo.
All right, here goes poll question number 2, folks. I'm launching it right now. There you are. You can vote on this as we go. Question is, do you currently use email marketing or a newsletter to market your services? And your options are yes, we use both, email marketing and a newsletter, yes, email marketing only, yes, a newsletter only, or neither. So folks are voting now. I see we're about 70% in. I'll leave this open for about another 10 seconds or so. Let folks vote. If you haven't voted yet, get your vote in now. And I'll close the poll in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and closing the poll now. And here are the results. 13% say yes, we use both an email marketing, utilize both email marketing and a newsletter. 13% say email marketing only. 9% say newsletter only, and a whopping 65% say neither. So by and far, the largest swath of our attendees today are using neither email marketing or a newsletter.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, those are interesting numbers. So as I said, with Top Builder Solutions, you get your own targeted and branded email marketing system and a newsletter. And like I said, using that will get you new opportunities and also help you close more deals. I'm going to show you how it works here, but I find it very interesting that many people are doing neither today. Okay, so before I jump into the demo, I just want to let everybody know our contact information is in the presentation that we'll be sending. Real quickly, I'm going to introduce Eric Cofield. It's Eric with a K. He's on the webinar today. He's in listen-only mode. He's our VP of Business Development, and he will be following up after the webinar to see if you want further information, if you have any questions, and also to send out the slide deck here. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the demo. We have a kind of a handy way of switching. Oh, that worked great. Okay, yep. So I can see what you see, which is awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the very beginning here, and I'm going to log in to our cloud-based solution. So you can log in from anywhere as long as you have a browser and an internet connection. And what you see initially is the dashboard. But the way I like to do the demos is I like to work from left to right. I'm going to go through all the menu options, real brief and real high level. And what this allows me to do is two things. It allows me to show you what we have in the software in terms of the features, but it also shows you how easy it is to use. I didn't mention this in our goals, but it is internally within Top Builder Solution. Ease of use is always the #1 priority before we roll out any new features. I think you'll see that in the demo, but we also hear that from our customers as well. It's got to be easy to use or you won't use it and we all lose. So I hope you pay attention and see how easy it is to use. We'd love to hear your feedback on that, but you'll find out for yourself. Okay, so the dashboard is always here on your left. I'll come back to it in a second. Then you have the CRM menu, which allows you to manage your leads, and you can manage your leads, and it becomes sort of your pseudo dashboard. You can move columns around, you can remove columns, you can add columns. It's a very handy feature. You can manage your accounts, and you can categorize your accounts by account type. Let's say you have general contractors, subcontractors, vendors, property managers. You can set them up that way. And you have your contacts, and you have your tasks or your to-do items. You have your newsletter, and we call this the newsletter homepage. The newsletter homepage allows you to see all the editions of your newsletter that have gone out, how many folks were on the newsletter, if there was a problem with it, in other words, you were missing an email, a duplicate email, a bad email, and you can drill down and track who opened it, who clicked on links, so on and so forth, and you can export all these to Excel. You can go in and manage your subscribers, you can edit the next edition, and then you can preview your newsletter, and this is our fake company here, but this allows you to preview the newsletter and then send yourself a test message to see what it looks like in your email. Now you can see how professional this looks. We do all the branding for you, and this is the same on the email marketing as well. And we put a promotional section down at the bottom, and then also there's links to your website and your social media pages up on top. So this will go to your website, your social media pages, and things like that too. Okay, so we have email marketing, and it's very similar to the newsletter. You can see all the emails that have gone out, what has happened to them. You can drill down and see what's going on with each one of those, who opened it, who clicked on links, what bounced. You can run reports against that. You can edit them. You can copy a prior email and create a new one. And then I'll show you real quick. You can go in and target your emails by a bunch of different criteria here. So the type of person it is you can send emails to just one account. Maybe there's a big customer and you want to send them a mass email based on where they are in the sales cycle. What zip code are they in? All kinds of different things here. And then the same with the newsletter. You can preview it and send a test message. Now, part of email marketing is we give you a bunch of different layouts that you can choose from. So you can have a fancy looking newsletter like this one. It's very similar, email that looks like this one that's very similar to the newsletter. Or you can have a really simple, we call it like an Outlook style, where you would just address it to their first name and you just have your logo on the top. In a very simple, but still very professional looking email. And you'll also notice that we put tags in there. We call them substitution tags. And that allows you to put their name, date, other information about your company, and things in there that's automatically inserted into these emails, which makes them really nice. We have a calendar. The calendar allows you to manage your tasks, reminders, and alerts. We have a bunch of reports, which we continue to add to on a regular basis to track sales, the status of your leads, performance, and we have marketing reports so you can see, for instance, where are my leads coming from and which ones are converting into real business. So maybe you're getting a lot of them from repeat customers, from your website, maybe trade shows. But this is it's actually a very handy tool to be able to measure the return on investment you have from each one of your marketing projects. Of course, we use the software ourselves, and we use it to see how well we're doing on different marketing activities. Okay? There's many tools and utilities in here to reassign leads, apply follow-up plans, set up features. You can manage your interface to Spectrum, so you can set the status to say, hey, when the lead goes into job awarded status, I'm going to send that information over to Spectrum. That's how that works. And then we have a help center. And the help center is really cool because we can put videos in there, how-to guides, and we can record your training sessions and your account reviews, and we can put them in there so that only you can see that training, and so you have your own personalized training library in our Help Center. You can register for daily training classes from here, FAQs and definitions, and then our support process is up here as well. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is pause for questions, and if I don't have anybody, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on the information we captured.
Hey, Dave, we actually have a few questions here. Let me start with this one. What's involved with implementing or setting up Top Builder solutions for folks?
Okay, yeah, that's a very common question, and thanks for that question. I'm going to switch over to the PowerPoint slide real quick because I already have that on here. So if you look at the contents, there's the setup and support processes on there. And it is on page number 13. So like I said, you're going to get these slides. And we have a very structured and very organized setup process, and it's very timely. So if you sign up with us, your account and your users are set up within 24 hours. So you'll have a login, you'll have your password, your account will be ready to go. We immediately use our own software to develop the next steps in the workflow from that process of signing you up, and our support manager and in-house graphics artists start working on your branding. So we'll go to your website and we'll start pulling down graphics. We'll request graphics from you if we need some, and we'll start branding your emails and your newsletter, and we'll add those into your account. So immediately, or within 1 week, you'll have your newsletter and all your email branding done. Well, if you're a Spectrum customer, we will set up your Spectrum interface and pull all your customers and contacts over right away. And that, setting up the Spectrum interface usually takes less than a week. We conduct an account review with you, and the account review is walking you through the system, showing you how it's set up. You're able to customize the system with the statuses or the sales cycle phases that you want, the contact types you want, the account types you want, the priorities you want. We help you set all that up, and then we review it with you one-on-one, and then we can record it and add it to the Help Center so you can share it with the rest of your team. So that's done usually within 1 week of getting the account set up. And then we have daily training classes. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we have kind of our getting started or level 1 training, and then Tuesday, Thursday we have our more advanced training. You're welcome to join any training at any time. We have unlimited training and unlimited support. So you can go to the Help Centers to support, you can email us up, or you can call us, or you can attend the training sessions for the support. So that's how
sounds great, Dave.
it works. Okay, was there another one there, Andy?
We actually have quite a few questions. We'll try and I'll ask a few of these now. If we don't get to all these, we'll try and hold some time at the end here. Kevin asked a couple questions here. Can you pull information, can you pull contact information from Outlook? That's
Yes.
your first question.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second question, are newsletters customized by industry type? For example, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, etc.
We have some that are specific to that, but in general the answer is no. They're more construction-related topics, general construction-related topics. However, we do ask, and we do this on a repeated basis, it's even in our newsletter, to ask for topics. So we constantly ask our customers for topics, because we think we do a pretty good job of it, but we're not perfect. And if there's a topic out there that somebody wants, we have writers that we hire to do this work and editors to edit the work, and they're really good. I'm not one of them, but we're happy to take suggestions for topics, is what I'm saying. So typically they're not specific, but we'll take suggestions and then we'll categorize them in the system appropriately.
Okay. A couple other questions here. Brian asked, I'm not quite clear on this question, but is the software only integrated with Spectrum? I'm thinking about Exchange, LinkedIn, and it looks like et cetera after that. He also asked another question here. Is this tracking leads only or sales? For example, open proposals.
It's tracking open proposals. You have the ability to take the proposals and attach them into the lead as a document, and so you can track that as a status. For instance, if I'm looking at a particular lead, if you can see it on my screen here, I can have a status, and this is completely customizable for you, open proposal or bid submitted status, maybe in this case, where you can see where are my outstanding bids. We do have bid history in here that we pull from bidding systems. This is not Spectrum, this is another bidding system in this case, where you can track the bid history as well. I hope I answered the question. I'm not sure I did, but we have integration that we're working on for Outlook. We're building it up now. You can export and import calendars into Outlook now. We're beefing up that interface so that it's a little bit more robust in terms of calendar integration and contacts. We do not have an interface to LinkedIn, but we're completely open to it because I think that would make a lot of sense.
Another question, kind of a follow-up question to Brian. Monty asked, can you show us how to track proposal, bids, potential opportunities? Are you able to assign dollar values to these opportunities and forecast over a certain period of time?
Yeah. Okay. So yes, I will show that to you. So tracking proposals. Can you say the first part of that again, Andy, real quick?
He asked, can you show us how to track proposal, bids, potential opportunities, and then are you able to assign dollar values to these opportunities?
Okay.
And forecast over a certain period of time.
Okay, so is that the last question there, Andy, or you want to maybe hold off and then we'll wrap them up after?
Yeah, we have quite a few more questions after that, but we can certainly get on with the rest of the demo and answer the rest of them at the end.
Okay. I want to get to everybody's questions, and like I said, I will stick around and answer questions all day long if that's what it takes. But I think if I go through this, it may answer some of them, and then if not, we'll get to them. Okay, so to get to this question on tracking proposals and potential bids and opportunities, let me start here. You can set up your sales cycle in the system any way you would like. So you could start off with a new prospect. There's other CRM systems out there like Salesforce and Oracle and stuff, and they start off with something called a lead, and then it goes to an opportunity, and then it goes to an account. In Top Builder Solutions, we don't believe that makes a lot of sense. We feel like it makes more sense to have a lead, and a lead has a status. The status can be defined any way you want. New prospect, qualified lead, RFQ requested, all the way to job awarded, job complete, lost sale. You can add them and change the order all day long. When you go in here and you manage your leads, okay, you'll see that I can go in and I can filter or sort by status. I'm going to show you something kind of neat here. We'll put status right here since we're talking about it, and I can sort by status, or I can just see all the ones that are in bid submitted phase. Okay, and then I can also see which ones are new prospects, and you manage it that way. Now I think I'm trying to pick on my favorite here. This one, I've got a qualified lead. I'm going to open it up and show you the information that you track. You mentioned the dollar amount, which is captured right here. So the short answer to that part of the question is yes. That's the amount of the opportunity, and you can see that on the. Is it here? No. Let me add it. You can add it here, so I can see it there. I'll add the type. I want to see just new projects, and it also shows up on your dashboard. Forecasting would be in a report, and we love building reports. So if you have a favorite forecasting report, we'd love we'd love for you to share that with us. And if you become a customer, we'd love to build it for you. But you can build reports based on the sales status and the dollar amount to forecast revenue, and also use something called a priority or probability to say, I think if it's in this priority, I have this % chance of getting the prospect, and that means I should expect, whatever dollars in revenue in the next quarter. So that's how we do that. The information that we will capture for the prospect or the opportunity is the account or the company, the primary person associated to that opportunity. So who is my primary contact over there? In this case, it's Mark Armstrong, and but you can also add contacts for the opportunity, because there may be more than one person you may be working with on that opportunity. You may be partnering up with one of your subcontractors, another contractor. You may have the vendor that's coming in, the product supplier that's partnering up with you, engineers, consultants. All those folks can be added to the lead, and you can track it here. We can have details about the project. Where's the address? What is the job number? Now, this job number was actually sent over to Spectrum in another demo, so we generated a job number for it, and that's the job number that you use to track it. And you can use your own job numbers as well, because that question comes up a lot. We have the follow-up plan that we have attached to that lead, and this is part of the way we track proposals and bids. Now, you will see I have a lead that's in qualified status, but if I move that lead into the bid submitted status, you will see that that plan just changed. And then as part of the new plan, which happened automatically, that that plan automatically sends out an email thanking them for allowing you to submit the bid, and then you'll get reminders and alerts to follow up on that bid later. Okay? I'm going to come back to the tasks in a second. I've got the history. Okay, this is all the history all the way through to see, they received a phone call from you, they received an email from you. This was an email that automatically went out from the system thanking them for the opportunity. Oh, and by the way, they clicked on a link. And they clicked on a link to go to your website. That's what that is in this case. And then they opened the email as well and read it. So you have this handy history in here of being able to see everything that has happened all in one spot. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but when you're emailing, and this was part of the integration question, when you're emailing back and forth from Outlook or Gmail or whatever it is, we have the ability to capture those emails in Top Builder Solutions and record it into the history. We call it email integration, but it's really handy to be able to do that and be able to see the email conversation going back and forth without having to email from within Top Builder Solutions. Okay, you can attach notes. We have documents and photos. So, somebody went out and did a survey, you had a bid sheet or an estimate worksheet, you had an inspection report maybe, somebody submitted in a PDF, and this is all stored on our servers. And so you can access this from anywhere, you can open up the documents from anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection and a browser.
Hey, Dave, this is Andy. I just want to pop in real quick.
Okay.
We got 10 minutes to the top of the hour, and while we're certainly not going to do a hard stop at the top of the hour because we have so many questions, I do know that some people have other meetings to go to. We did have a number of questions here asking kind of a little bit more about the integration with between Spectrum and Top Builder, and kind of want to see a little bit of that if possible.
Okay. So I was going right to that here, and then I've got 3 tabs to show you, and then we'll jump into that because this covers the Spectrum integration question. Okay. So within this opportunity, or if you're looking at an account, Albert Bell Construction in this case, we pull in all the job history from Spectrum. So you'll know how many active jobs you have, completed jobs, inactive jobs, and what those dollar amounts are. And then we give you the job history right here. Again, this all comes directly from Spectrum. We also pull in from Spectrum the financial history, the credit, their current balance, available credit, and then revenue to date and revenue prior year, and we'll show you whether they're paying their bills or not. Okay? And then we have invoice history as well. Again, this comes in from history. And we pull it all, at the moment, we pull all the history in without limiting it to any date ranges. And then we have bid history. Bid history is actually, in this case, pulled in from a third-party bidding system. It matches up to your statuses, the way they appear in your bidding system, and again, totals it by number of bids and dollar amount. So if somebody just asked a question on tracking bids, this goes back and shows you the history for this particular customer. Okay, Andy, did you want to start firing questions at me then?
Certainly. We have a number of questions here. A few of them you've already answered. I'm going to try and skip over those. You talked about that. A quick question here about how long has Top Builder been interfacing with Spectrum?
Sure, that's an easy one. Since January.
Another question kind of on the mobile app side, is there an app available to be able to access the account from smartphones or iPads, etc.?
We have a mobile version of our application. It works in any browser. It's not an app. I think I can show you this real quick. If you see this, you can see, if you can imagine that on your phone, that's what it looks like. I'm waiting for it to come. Yeah, there you go. And so you can see you can use that on, and it flips landscape and all that kind of stuff. So there you go.
Another question here, as you add contacts into Top Builder, do they get added into Spectrum?
Yes. Underneath the customer. So you have a customer in Spectrum. The Spectrum has a customer ID, and that matches up with Spectrum, and then we add contacts to Spectrum as you add them.
Okay. Of course, everybody's favorite question here, as an existing Spectrum customer, what's the additional pricing to integrate Top Builder?
Right. We do not charge for the interface. We're proud of that. But what we do, our pricing is on this slide, and part of the, I'm sorry, I need to share this. Terribly sorry. On the slides that you'll be getting is on slide 14, and this is our pricing. And it includes the interface to Spectrum. There's no additional fee.
And then this is Scott. Just to add, on the Spectrum side of things, the integration is done through our web services, so it uses the Spectrum Data Exchange to do the integration. So if you already have that, then there's no additional purchase on the Spectrum side. Otherwise, you'll need the SDX module.
Okay. One of the other questions here is, what if we don't need the email/newsletter branding service? Does that change anything?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And actually, I was anticipating that question after the survey. We would encourage you to use it. We would hope you would use it because it does have very dramatic benefits. However, there is a discount if you're not using it. So we can discuss that with you, but yes, it does change things, and it does change the setup fee because, as you can see in the setup, we're doing your branding of your emails and your newsletter, and that's graphic work that we're doing that we don't have to do. So.
Okay. Another question here: could you show us a project worksheet? I'm thinking that means kind of off of a lead.
A project worksheet?
Yeah. Maybe we can get Jeff asked that question. Jeff, if you could clarify that question for us, we'll try and loop back to you on that. Let's move on to, let's see. Does the solution have the ability to capture pursuit cost? Desirous of understanding of what it costs to win a job? And then would bidirectional interchange with Spectrum provide this?
Oh, I love that question. The short answer is no, to be frank and to be candid. But it is a item on our development roadmap, and it ties in, and it's a high priority on our roadmap. It ties in very nicely with this report. So basically, the cost of your marketing sources to acquire leads would be added to this report, would be captured with your marketing sources, and then calculate the total return on investment, the total cost per lead, and then we would interface it over to Spectrum. So the short answer is no, but we would certainly be adding this very soon.
Okay.
It's come up many times.
Another question here: can you add files or documents to the leads, i.e., probably uploading attachments?
Yes. So that is something I've shown, but let me show it to you again. I think we were in bid submitted stage on this one. No, we weren't. Oh, here it is. Yes. So yes, we have the ability to attach documents. I'm taking a risk at what I'm about to show you here, but okay, here's a PDF that I have in the system. Okay, so I opened up the PDF. I can open up a graphic. This is a picture, just a JPEG, and then here's an Excel file. So you're not limited into how many documents you can capture. You're not limited to disk space or storage space or how many contacts you can have or how many emails you can send. We don't work that way. We want to give you what you need to do your job, and that's it. So
another question, Dave. Another question here that may tie into this: is there integration between Spectrum's document imaging and pictures and docs within this program? I.e., do they sync?
Currently, no. And I'm writing as I'm talking. What did you call that? Sync?
So there's no integration there today. That could be something that we can explore in the future.
Well, yes, and certainly we'd be willing to explore that. I actually have a demo this afternoon, and that question came up in our first demo with those folks. So that may become a higher priority. But I'll just tell you real quickly that if it goes the way our interface has gone in the past with Spectrum, it will be pretty straightforward to do because their interface is awesome and really, really developer friendly.
All right, another question here. We use a cloud-based budgeting and forecasting tool. Would like to have automated extract of data out of TopBuilder to be imported into our budgeting and forecasting product. Is that possible?
Yes.
Can you export out of TopBuilder?
Yes, 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 it is. And we have an open API, and we have done interfaces, for instance, to this bidding system. This particular one is one called Bid to Win that we used in the demo. And then, of course, we had the one, the Spectrum, but the short answer to that would be yes.
Okay. I'm not clear on this question, but I'll ask anyway. Is there a go/no-go management in the system?
Would that be like routing or approval, maybe? I don't know.
That would be my guess. Maybe, Chris, if you could clarify your question, we'll try and get to that one as well. How are phone calls logged? Are they done automatically?
Currently, no, they're manual.
Okay. Another question here relates to mobile. Can you access contact lists through a mobile contact list?
Yes.
Does the number of users include admin users?
We're fair on our pricing. So if you have, your license covers your first 5 users, the base license covers your first 5 users. If you've got a person that's an admin or somebody that just uses it on an occasional basis, then we'll be fair and we'll let you have an additional user. We don't want to nickel and dime you to death on something you're not using.
Okay. Now, folks, I know we are past the top of the hour here. I know some folks have other things to do. Dave, you said you wanted to stay on for a little bit. We do have a handful more questions. We're more than happy to stay on, but just did want to let everybody know. Dave, you want to keep going with some questions here, or?
I'll be here as long as you'll keep me here.
Okay. A few more left here. Jeff got back to us and I think clarified his question a little bit more. Could you show us a project worksheet where you list all the information pertaining to the project? Can it be customized?
Okay. I don't. We may not be dealing with that, and maybe we can get some clarification. But we don't have a project worksheet. It's a lead management system. So you're managing the sales process, and then when it becomes a project, I think that's where you take Spectrum and take it from there. Would I be wrong by saying that?
No, I think that's correct, Dave. And the only thing here I could see is if you had maybe a proposed sort of project worksheet, you might have that attached as a to lead if it made sense.
Kind of link the two together.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you have the site plan.
Yeah, I hope I answered it correctly, and I think Scott confirmed that. But we would have the ability to add details to the job as user-definable fields or flexible fields that you could add, and then pull that back from Spectrum. But I think most of those details, like Scott said, would be in Spectrum.
Okay. Another question here, are there any volume discounts for a large number of users, if you wanted to have several number of users for this?
Oh yeah, we always offer that. It's just, it's hard to put that on a slide.
Another question here, can we integrate with WordPress?
Yeah, as your content, yeah, the short answer would be yes. And we don't have an interface specifically to WordPress, but for the website and the content manager within WordPress, I would say yes. It's an open environment. It's open source software, so I wouldn't see any reason why we couldn't do that. And I think what we're getting at there is potentially, I may be wrong, I may be assuming too much here, but if you have a newsletter or an email or something that you want to post to your website, that would be really cool. So we would certainly be willing to do that.
Yeah. Another question here, if we create our own newsletter or customer survey, is there a way to send it as a mass email to a select group of customers?
Yes. Yes, we do that. Yes, that's done every day within our system. And in addition to that, you talked about mass emailing it, but one of the things that we encourage our customers to do, whether you're a commercial builder or even a residential builder, is as part of the follow-up plans, let's say job is completed, you'll see right here, standard job survey sent, and it's automatically emailed out when the job is set to complete. So you send a link to that survey, the survey, they collect the results and it automatically happens. And then you can set reminders in the system to say, hey, review the job and review the survey results. I hope you can see that on my screen right here. It may be tough, but I mean, that's a very, very common use of this. We also encourage our builders, and by the way, this is not something we charge for, but we always provide best practices and helpful advice during training and account reviews. We encourage them to survey their customers when they win the job. Why did we win the job? Certainly when you lose a job, why did we lose the job? And then along the process of construction. So.
Okay. Dave, a couple more questions here. Can you add more tracking dates like bid or proposals due, pre-qual expiration dates, things of that nature?
We would certainly consider that. We have just a handful of dates now. Let me go in here and show it to you. So you can see here we have expected contract date, actual contract date, or date the job was awarded, expected job complete date, actual complete date, but we can certainly add dates if it makes sense. Yes, and I see that it would make sense to do that.
Yep. Can we create our own custom reports from the data?
Yes, you can, and also we have nice little export utilities to export your data to Excel if you're an Excel person. You can also take any of our reports and export them to Excel or PDF. Okay. That one. There you go. Cool.
Yeah. Kind of tied in with this last question too. Are any of the screens configurable? Add additional fields, things of that nature. So, can you configure your screens and interface there?
Yes. I showed you how you can change the grids here, and you can move them. You can move the columns around. You can add columns. You can remove columns. That's on the grids, and you'll see right now that I am sorting on status of bid submitted, and I rearrange my columns a certain way. And even if I'm on page 5 of 10, and I sign out and I sign back in, it remembers how I configured the system. Now, I think a follow-up to that question would be, well, what about this? Okay, just looking at this, you can see that I'm still filtering by bid submitted. I'm still sorting by status, and my columns are in the same place. But I think a follow-up question to that would be, can I move fields around, and can I customize my dashboard? And like, get rid of this block, get rid of this chart. The current answer is no, but we have researched that and we know how to do it. So I think that would be coming very soon. But you can certainly customize your grids and change what fields you want to see.
Okay. We have a couple more questions here. I just want to make this one the last question, because I know we're running out of time here. Last question of the day, and folks, if we didn't have a chance to get to your questions, we will follow up with you afterwards. But last question here comes from Pam. If we have multiple divisions, can there be multiple internal owners of one customer? If yes, how is that displayed for a big picture view?
Right. We have territories where you can set up a customer and assign. These territories can be not necessarily like geographical territories, but they can be divisions. And then you can assign users to divisions, and then divisions can have shared ownership of an account or a lead or a customer or a contact or customer. Now, if you go look at the accounts, there's really only one owner of an account. So in this case, it's me, right? So you only have one true owner, but by virtue of assigning divisions and accounts to divisions, then that's how that person in the other division, or I'm sorry, within the division, would have access to that information in sort of a shared ownership way. I hope that makes sense.
I think it makes perfect sense. Well, Dave, I want to thank you so much. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's always a challenge to take time out of your busy schedules to join us for these webinars. We really do appreciate you taking the time today. Dave, are there any last things you want to say before we close the webinar out here today?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, we are going to email you the slide deck. There's a video library in there that goes into a lot of detail on slide 12 so you can go in and look at the videos. And then our contact information is in here as well. But you'll be hearing from Eric. He'll be emailing each one of you with the slides. And we can schedule one-on-one demos through GoToMeeting or answer any questions that you have. And we'd love to hear back from you. And I hope you enjoyed the webinar today.
And just to clarify too, we do record these webinars. So what I'll do is as soon as the recording is finished, kind of rendering, probably a little bit later this afternoon, I will send that over to the folks at Top Builder too, so they have that link so they can send out to anybody that wants the recorder version as well.
Yeah,
Scott?
And we'll put that on our website too.
Okay. Hey, anything else to add from Scott?
No, I really appreciate everyone's time and and really appreciate staying on extra long here. So yeah, thank you for attending. We're very excited about this partnership. We think it provides a lot of value to our Spectrum clients, and look forward to hearing from you all and your opinion of this integration and other things that you may be looking for in the future.
All right. With that, folks, we'll leave this up for just another maybe 15, 20 more seconds after I'm done talking, just so you can jot down Dave's contact information there. There's his email and his office and mobile phone numbers. If anybody has any follow-up questions or would like to chat with Dave, I know he's more than happy to take your calls. And with that, again, just want to thank everybody for joining the webinar. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.